Yo, what's up, everybody? It's B Militant. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. You guys, NFL draft's coming up. It's a hopeful yet scary time because we don't know what the Washington Redskins are going to do. Thursday night, we pick our first round draft pick. And I'm basically just going to go over what I want to happen. And if it was up to me, I think the best thing that we could do, if the quarterback, this all depends. If the quarterback that we want isn't there at 15, I think automatically we need to go edge rusher and bolster the line. I mean, we need to get after people. We also lost Preston Smith. It's a huge need, and you hear me say it all the time. If we don't have a quarterback, which we always screw up our quarterback situation anyway, what you need to do is you need to build a defense similar to like what the Ravens did. Joe Flacco ain't that good, all right? I watched Joe Flacco for a long time. He's had his ups and downs. You know, he's had his ups. A lot of quarterbacks have their ups, but Joe Flacco is not a good quarterback, and they had a great defensive line. They had a great defense. And then what they did is they inserted a quarterback who can game manage and not lose them the game more times than, not or whatever. So what I think we need to do, obviously from last year, our defensive line was creating havoc in the backfield. For the first half of the season, they were really good. This defense looked like it was completely different. We do have other moving pieces that we brought in now. Bringing in a bunch of people in the offseason, Landon Collins, Reuben Foster. But to me, we need an edge rusher. And I'm going to give you two things what I think should happen or is going to happen. What I don't want is it has to be the right wide receiver at 15, which I don't want a wide receiver. Like I said before, DK Metcalf, the only reason I was on board with getting DK Metcalf, I think he's might be a bust in the NFL. And I'm sure a lot of people don't believe that. But just normally, sometimes having that much hype and stuff, it just never pans out. And that's just something you learn over the years of watching. There's players like DK Metcalf was the only person people talked about for a long time in this draft process. And the only reason I said that I would be cool with taking him at 15 is because he said that he likes Jay Gruden. And we're not a football team that a lot of people want to come play for. So that's a big deal to me. If you say you want to be here, like Landon Collins wants to be here, hell yeah, pay that dude. Whoever wants to be here, whoever wants to be a Redskin and, prove themselves, I'm all for getting those people because they are rare. And so, I'll still be a little upset, but if we went wide receiver, because there's only a couple wide receivers that you want to take at 15. But so I want defense. I want to get a pass rusher. I always say if you don't have a quarterback, the first thing you need to do is get someone who's going to, the first important position is quarterback. After that, it's who's going to get the quarterback on the other team. You need to get the other opposing team's quarterback. We don't have anybody. I mean, we have guys now, but we don't have that real edge rusher. Not Preston Smith, but Ryan Kerrigan is the definition of solid, but he's not elite. We need an elite guy. And what I think is going to happen is I think if the guy's there, I think Brian Burns will be the guy that the Redskins pick. I'm not going to dislike that pick, but I'll tell you who I want, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Brian Burns, I like Brian Burns. The dude's got crazy speed, and when I watch his highlights and stuff like that, the first thing that came to my mind was we play in a division where we got to play people like mobile quarterbacks, right? The Eagles. We got to play people who are going to have quarterbacks who scramble, and that's just the NFL in general, right? So we've struggled with quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, and stopping them, just stopping them from getting outside, stopping them from running for first down, stopping them from just bootlegs and then throwing the ball down the field. We can't stop mobile quarterbacks. And when I first started watching stuff about Brian Burns, instantly it clicked in my head, This guy, he can help stop that and help fix that issue that we have, the glaring need that we have. But the only downside to Brian Burns that I can see is the guy's kind of small. And if he cannot hold up his end in the run game, I much rather stop the run, man. It starts with stopping the run. Yeah, getting the quarterback is great, but if they run the ball down our throats, the first and second down, you know, it's going to still end up bad, dude. I like Brian Burns. If we draft Brian Burns, I will not be upset. I just think there's a guy that I want more at 15 who I think will be available. I think there's a possibility Brian Burns, both these guys could go higher, but I think we don't know what's going to happen with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks could be going really fast and stuff like that, and then these guys slide down to us. But I want Clelin Ferrell, and the reason is simple. When I look at Clelin Ferrell, his body type, you know, just watching the NFL for a long time, this guy is going to be around and be a solid player. Barring injury, you know, we don't know who's going to get injured. We just drafted Troy Apke last year and thought, hey, this guy, you know, he has some upside, injured, you know, didn't play like at all. So we don't know what's going to happen with injuries. But when I look at Clelin Ferrell, that's a man's man, all right? He's built to stop the run. He has a quick get off. He can get the quarterback. He's got different tools to get to the quarterback. This guy's going to be around the NFL for a long time. And I've seen people mock Clelin Ferrell to the Eagles and stuff like that. Yeah, if you don't want to believe me, you wait and see. I can tell right now, this dude's going to be around for a long time, and he's going to create havoc. He's going to be a force in the NFL. He's going to stop the run. I've watched a lot of his tape, you know, what I can find on YouTube. Just, you know, segments of just every snap that he's taken and stuff like that. You do not see this man, as soon as the ball is hiked or snapped, he does not move backwards ever. He never gets pushed backwards ever. He's either going forward or stalemating. He will never, ever get pushed back. I didn't find one play where he got blown up or pushed back or knocked off the ball or ran over. Remember Preston Smith getting ran over by the Saints second string quarterback or whatever? You remember him getting ran over by a quarterback? This guy's not. He does come with some concerns for me. He's not the fastest. He's not the most nimble guy. I always hated on Preston Smith for doing what? Getting in the backfield, getting an arm's length away from the quarterback and not getting him just because he's not nimble enough and stuff like that. I can see Clelin Ferrell, you know, pissing me off a little bit in the same light, in the same way, because he's not as nimble and quick and small and fast like Brian Burns. But do you remember what Scott McCloughan sold us all on? You know, building a bully, building a big football team that you're going to feel the next day after you play that team. You're going to know you got your ass kicked by a big bully football team full of football players. This guy's a football player, and this guy's big. He's not gonna get ran over in the run game. He can get to the quarterback, and adding him on the defensive line with, well, that's another thing I'll get to in a second. Adding him with our defensive line, the guys who are going to get pressure up the middle, then him on the outside and Ryan Kerrigan, that's serious. We just transformed our football team, and that's going to create issues for people. Now, the thing is, you know, people want to say Clelin Ferrell's more of a defensive end in a 4-3 scheme and we run 3-4. But man, this even Charlie Casserly had Clelin Ferrell coming to the Redskins in one of his mock drafts. Why? Because you can teach the kid. I've sat here and I've watched, like I said, I don't claim to sit here and watch everybody, but when I'm interested in somebody, when there's somebody that I want in the first round, I watched all of his stuff, and he's dropped back into coverage, and he's never got picked on. He's decent at doing it. And then if you want to sit here and say, oh, he's more of a 4-3 guy and he just doesn't fit our system, well, teach him. What is your job? You know what I mean? Like, what is our coach's jobs? Do you think Brian Belichick can't teach somebody something? You see what I'm saying? The guy has talent. He's got the body type that I like on the defensive line, and to be able to get after the quarterback, stop the run, do everything we need him to do. Like I said, if you have any issues and you think that he can't drop back into coverage, I'll gladly make a little video showing you all the times that I've seen him drop back into coverage from watching all of his tape on YouTube, everything that I could find. He never got picked on. No one, I don't even remember anyone ever throwing the ball his way. You know what I'm saying? So I think the dude's got talent. Watching football growing up my entire life, I just have a knack. I can tell you, Clelin Ferrell is going to be around for a long time. He's going to do damage to people for a long time. Brian Burns might too. I don't know. But my concerns with Brian Burns is that he's too small, and I'm a traditional type of guy. I like stopping the run and running the football, all right? And with the team that we have right now, that's what we need to do. We don't really have a quarterback. Case Keenum, who knows? He might come in and fill that role of just being a game manager and you know, handing the ball off to Adrian Peterson enough for us to win. That's going to be our motto. Stopping teams from scoring. It starts with stopping the run, getting the quarterback, running the ball ourselves, running the clock out, scoring. That's the end of the game. And I think Clelin Ferrell really is going to be a force to be reckoned with, a man's man on the defensive line. I just do. And I wouldn't be upset. All I want to do is go back to, like I said, traditional stuff that Scott McCloughan, you know, praised, and stuff that we liked him for. You know, saying he wants to bolster the offensive and defensive line. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to. If we went and got the best offensive lineman at 15, I don't know. Maybe there could be better players out there. Maybe there's some reason to be upset. But if we went out and got someone who we know is going to be a Brandon Sheriff type player for us and help bolster our offensive line, I'm not going to be upset. But if we go out and do some dumb shit, I don't think we really need a safety in the first round. But that depends. I don't know anything that's going on with who is our guy, Monte Nicholson. I don't know anything that's going on with Monte Nicholson. Maybe if they know something that I don't know and we do need a safety, okay, fine, whatever, cool. I like spending picks on defense, high picks on defense, right now for this team, and so yeah, maybe if they want a safety and they got a guy in mind and they spend the pick on defense, I'm not going to be super upset. But there's just guys that I want, and Clelin Ferrell and Brian Burns are both high up on that list. You know, if we go cornerback, you know, I'm even worried about going wide receiver. We can't draft wide receivers in the first. We just don't know how to do it. So I wouldn't be super crazy upset, you know, as long as it's the right guy. If it's a guy that people think should go 15 overall, then I'm not going to be that upset. It's a huge need that we want, or that we have. But I would much rather go on defense. That's all I'm saying. I want to, you know, I would rather. This is a deep draft for, you know, pass rushers and stuff like that. Let's get a good one. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it. That's all I have. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with some of the stuff, but that's okay. Let me know in the comments. I had a good time. Well, I finally found time to go back to the last video that I made and got to some of your guys' comments. And yeah, it was just good talking to some of you guys and, you know, having back and forth. It's been a while since I've had a lot of time to, you know, get to your guys' comments, which sucks, you know, because I want this to be a back and forth discussion, you know. I also had people ask me you know, if I'm going to do anything for the draft, and I'm not planning on doing anything live for the draft. I will make a video, you know, obviously right after the draft and let you guys know what I think, and we can talk there. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you guys. Hail to the Redskins. Hopefully, you know, we help bolster this football team here on Thursday. I'm pretty excited. I think there's a lot of good players to be had. And even at 15, you know, who knows? We might get a quarterback. And, you know, I mean, there's going to be a lot to talk about. So I'll see you guys then. Hail to the Redskins. Peace.